Batman averts a crisis, a dark shadowy figure puts events in motion, and competition is the name of the game in Gotham for Batman issue 1. What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. Today I'm going to go over Batman issue 1. So this is the first post-Rebirth title from the Batman series, and it's truly the first one that's being written by Tom King, who's taking over for Scott Snyder. For those of you that have been reading the New 52 Batman, you're going to notice very distinct differences in both writing style as well as art style, since neither Snyder or Capullo are still on this book. However, that doesn't mean it's any worse. Tom King, to start off with in the writing, Tom King has got a different perspective on how to write Batman, and ultimately the way that he orchestrates this situation and the scenario that goes on, ultimately, to give you a small plot summary, there's a terrorist organization, there's a break-in, and they launch a rocket and it hits a plane that's overhead, and we see Batman, charging to the rescue and using everything that we know about him, his tactile senses, his, preparation, his strategies, as well as his resources from the Bat team to try and tackle this kind of almost Superman level task of a plane falling out of the sky and causing massive devastation on Gotham. And right up until the end, you're like, oh yeah, man, Batman's got this. He got it. We're good to go. And you see how he makes those leaps and those developments to get there. So I feel like Tom King really understands the nature and the character of Batman, but in a different way than Scott Snyder put it on the page. The most jarring thing for folks with this issue is probably going to be with the art. The art style of David Finch is distinctly different than Greg Capullo. Not to say that it's bad, but ultimately, if you've been following along with the books for the last 5 years when Snyder and Capullo were on these particular books, it's going to be a little bit jarring, and it's something that you're going to have to get used to. What we're probably going to see is a variety of different artists kind of take the mantle to push this book forward until we find a team that really helps find and cement their voice. Overall, as far as the story is concerned, the story itself is laying the groundwork for a conflict, I feel. It's either going to be a cooperation or a conflict, that's for sure, as we introduce Gotham and Gotham Girl. And while this is kind of like the last page reveal, it's not really a surprise since it's right on the cover of the book. So it's not really a spoiler or anything like that. But the way that it's going to be set up, and you get this sense that there's an orchestration. There's a puppet master behind the scenes that is going to be pushing these events forward. Overall, as far as Batman #1 goes, if you're a fan of Batman, you've got to be reading this book, and I don't feel it's going to be a disappointment to anybody. It's just that it's going to take a little while for continuing fans to accept the change in creative team from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo to the new writer Tom King and the artist that he's going to be working with. Overall, I'd say that this is a must-buy, something that you're going to want to go out to your comic book shop and get, and they've already gone to a second printing on this book due to its popularity. So that's it for my review on Batman issue 1. Hit me up in the comments down below and tell me what you thought of the issue, and we can have those discussions and start those conversations. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more news and reviews regarding comics, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.